In this lecture, we will discuss about the nodal analysis. So nodal analysis is popularly known as node voltage analysis. It is a technique used to find the voltages at the nodes of the circuit. Nodal analysis is based on Kirchhoff's current law. It results in system of linear equations that can be solved for unknown voltages. And number of node voltages is equals to number of nodes minus 1. So for example, in this circuit there are 5 nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total number of node voltages would be 5 minus 1 is equals to 4, which would be V1, V2, V4 and V5. So now the next question is how to apply nodal analysis. So for applying the nodal analysis, we first need to identify the nodes available in the circuit. Then we need to identify the node that can be assigned as the reference node. And then we have to assign the voltage to all other nodes. So for example, in this exemplary circuit given on the right hand side, there are clearly 5 nodes in this circuit. Node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4 and node 5. So now first we need to identify the reference node. So here in this figure the node 3 is considered to be a reference node. For a reference node, the voltage is actually considered to be 0. So the voltage of the reference node V3 would be equals to 0. So that's a reference node. And then all other nodes are assigned some voltages V1, V2, V4 and V5. Then we need to apply KCL at each node to get the equation. And let us first know that what is the unknown quantity here. The unknown quantity is the node voltage. So for finding the node voltage, we need to apply the KCL at each node to get equations. And then we need to solve these equations to get the values of the voltages. So now let us consider an example of nodal analysis. So we need to use nodal analysis to form voltage relations for the given circuit. So a circuit is given here with 3 nodes 1, 2 and 3. So out of these 3 nodes we assign the node 3 as reference voltage. Hence the voltage of this reference node is actually 0. Now all the other nodes, node 1 and node 2, are assigned unknown voltages V1 and V2. Now as a step 4, let us apply KCL at node 1. So now here we can see that there are 3 currents at this node, I2, I3 and I1. The direction of I2 and I3 we have assumed, and direction of I1 is already given to us. So according to KCL, the total current entering to the node 1 should be equals to sum of the currents leaving the node 1. So that's why by KCL we have this relation that I2 plus I3 is equals to I1. Now let us determine the value of I2 and I3 separately. Now you can see that I2 is the current flowing through R2, and because R1 is in series with R2, the same current will flow through R1 as well. So total resistance offered to the flow of current I2 is R1 plus R2. Now this current flow is because of some potential difference across this series combination of R1 and R2. Now the potential difference across this series combination of R1 and R2 is actually equals to V1, because the potential at node 1 is V1 and this terminal is at ground terminal, which is actually V3 is equals to 0, which is a reference terminal. So total potential drop between R1 across R1 and R2 is V1. So that is why the value of current I2 is given by this formula V1 over R1 plus R2. Now let us determine the value of I3. So I3 is the current flowing through the resistance R3, and please see the direction of I3 is leaving this node 1 and entering to node 2. So that's why there is a potential drop plus minus across R3, which means the node 1 is having a higher potential than node 2. So the potential drop across R3 is the difference of the potential at node 1 and potential at node 2, which is equals to V1 minus V2. So therefore the value of current I3 flowing through resistance R3 would be V1 minus V2 divided by R3. So by substituting the value of I2 and I3 obtained in terms of node voltages and the circuit resistances is given in the form of equation 1. Now as a step 5, let us apply the KCL at node 2. So again, if we apply KCL at node 2, so as a result of KCL, total current entering to node 2 is actually equals to I3, which should be equals to sum of the currents leaving the node 2. So two currents are leaving the node 2, I4 and I5. So as a result, we have this relation that I4 plus I5 is equals to I3. Now let us determine the value of I4, I5 and I3. So I4 is the current flowing through the resistance R4, and obviously the potential drop at R4 is actually equals to V2 minus V3, which is equals to V2 because V3 is equals to 0. So therefore the value of current from Ohm's law is equals to V2 by 4. So I4 is equals to V2 by R4. Now for determining I5, we can see that the same current I5 is also flowing through resistance R6, and the potential difference across this series combination of R5 and R6 is actually equals to V2. So therefore the value of I5 is actually equals to V2 upon R5 plus R6. Now let us come to I3. So the value of I3 we have already determined, which is V1 minus V2 over R3. So we substitute this value here and we get our equation 2. So for finding the value of voltages V1 and V2, we can solve equation 1 and equation 2. Now let us take another example where we need to find the values of unknown voltages V1 and V2 in the given circuit. So V1 and V2 are the node voltages at node 1 and 2, and we need to determine the value of V1 and V2, which is unknown. Please note that there are two current sources of value 2 ampere and 4 ampere are given in the circuit, and there are three resistances of 5 ohm, 10 ohm and 20 ohm given here as well. So as a first step, let us apply KCL at node 1. So when we apply KCL at node 1, then we need to assume some currents at node 1. At node 1 we have this incoming current of 2 ampere, so there has to be some outgoing currents. So let us assume these are two outgoing currents from at node 1. So this current, which we can say I1, and this current we can say it is I2. So the value of I1 would be, the potential would be determined by the voltage drop across the 10 ohm resistance. Now we can see this new notation here, which actually indicates a ground terminal. The ground terminal means the voltage drop at this terminal is actually equals to 0. So which means this is a reference terminal or node. So because this is a reference terminal, the voltage drop across 10 ohm resistance is V1 only. So therefore the current flowing through 10 ohm resistance would be equals to V1 by 10. So we can say that I1 is actually V1 by 10. Now let us talk about the current I2, which is flowing through 5 ohm resistance. The direction of current is from node 1 to node 2, which means node 1 is having higher voltage, node 2 is having lower voltage. So the value of I2 can be given by the Ohm's law, which is obtained by just dividing the voltage drop across the 5 ohm resistance divided by the resistance value. So voltage drop across the 5 ohm resistance is V1 minus V2. So I2 is actually given by V1 minus V2 divided by the resistance value. So now we can apply the KCL at node 1, and as a result of KCL we have this relation that I1 plus I2 is equals to 2. Now let us substitute the value of I1 and I2 and we get this relation here. We get this relation by substituting the value of I1 and I2, and the application of KCL is also given here for the sake of illustration. Now let us apply KCL at node 2. So when we apply KCL at node 2, so at node 2 we are having an outgoing current of 4 ampere because of this current source. Because of this current source, we are, let us assume that I2 current at this node flows like this. It leaves the node 2 without caring about the direction of current taken at the node 1 for I2, and also let us assume that there is another current I3 leaving this node. So when we have this scenario that I2 is leaving node 2, I3 is also leaving node 2, and 4 ampere current is also leaving node 2. So the KCL will result into this form. I2 plus I3 plus plus 4. Also, there is another current source of 2 ampere which I forgot to add here, because this 2 ampere current is also leaving this node. So therefore, there are actually 4 currents, all are leaving this node. So that is why we have this relation that I2 plus I3 plus 4 plus 2 is equals to 0, which implies that I2 plus I3 is equals to minus 6. So now let us determine the value of I2. So because we have assumed the direction of I2 from V2 to V1, so that's why if we have to get this direction of I2 flowing towards left hand side, V2 should be at higher value than V1. So that's why the value of I2, the value of I2 for this node would be equals to V2 minus V1 divided by 5. Now obtaining the value of current I3 is trivial, because V2 is the voltage of the node 2 and the other node 2 is 20 ohm. This 20 ohm resistance is connected, is actually at 0 voltage level. So that's why the value of current I3 is equals to V2, I3 is equals to V2 by 20. So now let us substitute the value of I2 and I3 into this relation, and we get this another relation by using KCL at node 2, and the illustration of KCL is shown here as well. So now equation at node 1 can be simplified as equation 1 shown here, 3V1 minus 2V2 equals to 20, and the equation which is as a result of KCL at node 2 can be simplified to equation 2. So now there are two unknowns V1 and V2, and there are two equations. Solving 1 and 2 will lead to the value of V1 is equals to minus 20 and V2 equals to minus 40. So now let us consider various cases which are encountered in nodal analysis. So the case 1 is about when voltage source is there in the circuit and this voltage source is connected with the reference node. So there is an exemplary circuit given here where we have to apply nodal analysis to find the value of unknown current. So there are three unknown currents. You can see IA, IB and IC flowing through three resistances of 5 ohm, 10 ohm and 40 ohm respectively. There is a voltage source of 50 volt connecting between this node and the reference node. So now let us first assign voltages to different node. So let us assume that this is the node 1, and because this is the reference node, we can show it by the ground sign, which says that the voltage at this node, ground node, is 0. So now let us assign the voltage drop V1 across the 10 ohm resistance, which is also the voltage at node 1. Applying KCL at node 1, we see that at node 1 there are following 4 currents connected to this node 1. Please note that this node and this node, they are actually common because they are connected through a short circuit. So this whole thing is now considered as node 1, and connected to these node are 4 branches. One is this 3 ampere current which is flowing to the node 1, and there are 3 resistances of 5 ohm, 10 ohm and 40 ohm connected to this node 1. So we assume that all the currents in these 3 resistances are going out, and now because we have now learned the current calculation, so we can directly apply KCL at node 1 as the current entering the node 1 should be equals to sum of the currents leaving the node 1, and because of that the first current which is leaving the node 1 is flowing through 5 ohm resistance, and then the value of this current would be, because the voltage at node 1 is V1 and the current is flowing out of node 1 towards the voltage source. So obviously V1 is at higher voltage than 50 volt, so that's why the current leaving the node 1 and flowing in 5 ohm resistance is given by this value V1 minus 50 divided by 5. Similarly, current flowing through 10 ohm resistance would be equals to V1 divided by 10, and current flowing through 40 ohm resistance would be equals to V1 by 40. So if we apply KCL, we get this relation. Now we can solve this equation and we get the value of V1 as 40 volt. Now by using this obtained value of V1, we can find the currents IA, IB and IC easily by using Ohm's law. So the calculation of IA, IB and IC are given here, which are self-explanatory. So now let us come to case 2. When there is a voltage source which is not connected with the reference node. So as shown in the figure, we have to find the values of unknown voltages in the given circuit. So you can see there that there are two nodes V1 and V2 given in the circuit diagram. And then we have to find the value of these voltages. Now there is a voltage source of 10 volt value which is connected between V1 and V2, and there are 3 resistances of 4 ohm, 6 ohm and 10 ohm are given, and there is a current source as well of 5 ampere value. So now let us apply KCL at node V. So obviously at node V1 there are actually 3 currents connected to this node. One is this 5 ampere current. Another current, we assume that it is flowing down. It is flowing down in the 10 ohm resistance, and there is another current which we can assume which is leaving V1. So because of the KCL, there are all currents are leaving the node 1. That's why sum of these all currents should be equal to 0. Now let us determine these currents separately. So the current flowing through 10 ohm resistance would be equals to the voltage of this resistance divided by the resistance value. So for finding the voltage drop across the resistance, we need to first determine the reference node. So we now put this node as a ground node or reference node. So obviously the current flowing through 10 ohm resistance is equals to V1 by 10, and then current flowing through this 10 volt voltage source would be determined by the current flowing through the 4 ohm resistance, because this 4 ohm resistance is in series with this voltage source. So this current is actually equals to this current. So the voltage drop across 4 ohm resistance, which is, we can say it is V. So the value of V can be easily obtained because the current is flowing towards the left hand side. So we need to determine the voltage of this particular node. We need to determine voltage of this particular node. So V, the voltage of this particular node, by applying KVL, we know that this voltage drop, this voltage is actually the sum of 10 plus V1, 10 plus V1, because you have to move here like this, 10 plus V1. So this is the voltage at this node connected to 4 ohm resistance. So therefore current flowing through 4 ohm resistance is given by this relation V1 plus 10 minus V2 divided by 4, and which is actually equals to minus 5 as a result of KCL. Now if we apply KCL at V2, if we apply KCL at this node, then obviously at this node there are only two branches connected to V2. One is 6 ohm and another is 4 ohm. We know the current flowing through 4 ohm, but we need to find the current flowing through 6 ohm resistance. The current flowing through 6 ohm resistance would be this current, its value would be V2 by 6. This current is already known, which is flowing through 4 ohm. If we apply KCL at node V2, the current entering into V2 should be equals to current exiting V2. So which means V2 by 6 is actually equals to the current entering into it, which is nothing but V1 plus 10 minus V2 by 4, which implies that V2 by 6 plus V2 minus 10 minus V1 divided by 4 is equals to 0, which is this relation. Now equation at V1 can be simplified to this form, and equation at V2 can be simplified to this form, and we can solve these two equations for obtaining the value of V1 and V2. So here is the case 3 where the concept of supernode will be studied. So whenever there is a voltage source present in the circuit between two nodes without any resistance, we use this concept of supernode. So for example, in the given circuit, there are three nodes V1, V2 and V3. But in between V2 and V3, there is a voltage source of 10 node value is connected without any resistance. So for applying KCL, we will consider V2, V3 and 10 volt source together, and we will make a supernode as shown here. So this is our supernode now. So now we want to find the value of V1, V2 and V3. So for that, let us apply KCL at V1 and at this supernode. So the result of KCL at V1, we get this relation which shows that the current flowing out of the V1 node, which is this current flowing in 2 ohm resistance and this current flowing in 5 ohm resistance, sum of these two currents is actually equals to 6 ampere. And how we determine the value of current through 2 ohm resistance is simple. It is V1 minus V3 divided by 2, which is given by this relation, and the current flowing through 5 ohm resistance is V1 minus V2 by 5. Now let us apply KCL at supernode. So similar to an ordinary node, supernode cannot store any current. So which means total current which is incoming to a supernode should be equals to the total current which is leaving a supernode. So we can apply KCL in the usual manner to this supernode without caring about 10 volt source, and here we can see that, let us assume that in the 5 ohm resistance this is the current flowing out of the supernode. There is another current which is flowing out of the supernode uh, through 4 ohm resistance. There is another current flowing through this 10 ohm resistance flowing out, and there is another current which is flowing out of the supernode through 2 ohm resistance. So obviously there are 4 currents connected to the supernode, and we have assumed that all these currents are leaving the supernode. That's why the sum of all these currents should be equal to 0 as indicated here. And you can see the calculation of the currents flowing through different resistances. So this V2 minus V1 upon 5 tells us the value flowing of current flowing through 5 ohm resistance. V2 by 4 is the current flowing through 4 ohm resistance. V3 by 10 is the current through 10 ohm resistance, and V3 minus V1 divided by 2 is the current flowing through 2 ohm resistance. Now equation at node V1 can be simplified to the following form shown as equation 1, and then equation at supernode can be simplified to as shown in equation 2, and as equation 3 we have the relation between voltages of node V2 and V3 as V2 minus V3 is equals to minus 10, and then solving these equations 1, 2 and 3 we get the values of unknown voltages as shown here. Now let us take another case of dependent sources presented in the network. So as we can see that in this exemplary network we have a dependent voltage source of value 5Vx, and the voltage of this dependent source depends upon this voltage drop along this 2 ohm resistance. So again in this circuit there are two nodes V1 and V2. This is your reference node. So we need to apply the KCL over node V1 and V2 to find the value of unknown voltages. So when we apply KCL at node 1 or V1, we can see that there are 4 currents connected to this node, and out of these 4 currents 3 currents are leaving this node and one current of 2 ampere is entering this node. So because of that we can write the KCL as we were at V1 as follows, as shown here in this equation. So V1 minus 10 divided by 10 is this current. V1 by 5 is the current flowing through 5 ohm resistance. V1 minus V2 by 2 is this current, and 2 ampere is the current which is incoming to the V1 node because of 2 ampere current source. Now let us apply KCL at node V2. So at node V2 there are actually 3 currents connected. So applying KCL at V2 will result into this relation, where we can see that V2 minus V1 upon 2 is this current, which is the current in the 2 ohm resistance. V2 minus 5Vx by 4 is this current, and 2 ampere current is flowing out of V2. So that's why this is occurring as minus 2 sign on the right hand side of the equality. So the KCL at V2 will result into this relation. So now the equation at V1 can be simplified as equation 1. Equation at V2 can be simplified to this form by simple algebra. And also because this second relation depends upon Vx, which is the voltage across the 2 ohm resistance. So therefore we need to define the value of Vx as well, which can be defined like this: Vx is equals to V1 minus V2, where we have taken care of these polarities of Vx. So because Vx is positive towards V1 and negative towards V2, so that's why Vx is equals to V1 minus V2. Now we can solve these three equations to get the value of unknown voltages. Matrix based nodal analysis. So in this topic we will understand how to apply matrix algebra for finding unknown voltages through nodal analysis. So an exemplary circuit is shown here, and where are three unknown voltages V1, V2 and V3, and we have to apply nodal analysis to find the values of these unknown voltages. So obviously we need three equations to find the values of three node voltages. So let us now apply KCL at node 1. So at node 1, if we apply KCL, I1 is the current supplied by the current source to the node V1, and there are two currents which are going out of this node. So applying KCL will result into this equation, where V1 minus V2 upon R12 is the current flowing through R12 resistor, and V1 upon R1 is the current flowing through R1 resistor. After simplifying this equation, we have this form. Now applying KCL at node 2, we have this equation, because at node 2 three resistances are connected: R12, R23 and R2, and let us assume that all the currents are going out of node 2. So because of that, the outgoing current from V2 in R12 resistor is given by this relation, V2 minus V1 upon R12. Current flowing through R2 from the node V2 is given by this relation, V2 over R2, and the current flowing through R23 outside V2 is given by this relation V2 minus V3 upon R23. And as a result of KCL, sum of all these three outgoing currents would be 0. And again, rearranging the term, we have this equation in the simplified form. Now let us apply KCL at node 3. And when we apply KCL at node 3, we see that at node 3 there is an incoming current supplied by the current source I2. And let us assume, and then node is connected with two resistors R23 and R3. Let us assume that current is moving out of the node into these resistors. So again, applying KCL at 3, we have KCL at node 3, we have this relation where V3 minus V2 over R23 is the current flowing through the R23 resistor. V3 upon R3 is the current flowing through R3 resistor. So again, rearranging the equation, rearranging the terms, we get this equation. Now let us come to the system of equations. So let us put all these three equations together. So at node 1 we have this relation, at node 2 we have this relation, and in node 3 we have this relation. What we observe from this relation, especially from the left side of the equations, is that the node voltage is multiplied by the sum of conductances of all resistors connected to the node. So for example, if we talk about node 1, so the voltage of node 1 is V1. So from node 1 there are two resistances connected, R1 and R12, and inverse of the resistance is conductance. So total conductance connected to node V1 is 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R12. So that's why on the left hand side of the equation connected to node 1, which is resulted due to the application of KCL at node 1, will show the voltage of the node multiplied by the total conductance connected to the node. Again, at node 2, we see that node 2 is connected with three resistances, R12, R2 and R23. So that's why in equation 2, you have a term V2 multiplied by the sum of conductances of these three resistors. Similarly, the node 3 is connected with two resistors, R23 and R3. So that's why in equation 3, you have V3 multiplied with the sum of conductances connected with node 3. So this is the first part. Other terms, they reflect that other node voltages are multiplied by the conductance of the resistors or resistors connecting to the node and subtracted. So which means if we apply KCL at node 1, so node 1 is also connected to node 2 through a resistor R12. So R12 is common between node 1 and node 2, and we are writing KCL for node 1. So that's why the term V2 would be multiplied with the conductance connecting V1 and V2, which is 1 upon R2, but this term will appear with the negative sign, as you can see here. Similarly, if I talk about KCL at node 2, for KCL at node 2 is connected with V1 and V3. For node 2, V2 is connected with V1 with R12 resistor, V2 is connected to V3 with R23 resistor. So that's why in the KCL of node 2, there would be two terms related to V1 and V3, and we can see that one term is V1 by R12, but it will appear with a negative sign, and another term is V3 by R23, appear with negative sign. Similarly, at node 3 is connected with V2 through R23, so therefore in the KCL equation of node 3, there would be a term minus V2 by R23, which shows that the other node voltages to which this node is connected, they are reflected by multiplying their voltages with the conductance connecting the two nodes. On the other hand, the right side of the equation reflects the currents from the sources entering the node. So if they are entering the node, they will appear with the positive sign. If they are leaving the node, they will appear with the negative sign. So with these sign conventions, let us put these equations into the form of matrix. And these three equations, when we club together, we can put them into the form of matrix like this, and which can be compactly written into the matrix vector form as this, where A contains all the conductances and V is the vector containing all the unknown voltage, I is the vector containing the currents. So here, so again, now the solution of the equation can be written as V equals to A inverse I, where A inverse is the matrix inverse, So because it is a matrix inverse, it has to be invertible. And determinant of this matrix, conductance matrix, should not be equals to 0. So for example, in the case of 2 by 2 matrix, A, which is given like A, B, C, D, the inverse of this matrix A is given like this. So let us consider an exemplary calculation of unknown voltages V1 and V2 for a circuit we have already considered for our nodal analysis. So here is a circuit where V1 and V2 are two nodes and two node voltages which we want to find, and for that we can directly write this matrix equation. So because if we need to find two KCL equation for node 1 and node 2. So for node 1, we see that node 1 is connected with 5 ohm and 10 ohm resistance. So in the matrix, the first element would be the total conductances connected to node 1, which is 1 by 10 plus 1 by 5, and the second part would be the total conductance connected between node 1 and node 2, because node 1 and node 2 are connected by 5 ohm resistance, so it would be minus 1 upon 5. In the lower row, second row, the first element would be total conductance connecting node 1 and node 2, because this row is related to the KCL applied to node 2. So again we can see that V2, if we apply KCL to V2, so there would be a negative term which is corresponds to the conductance connecting V1 and V2, so that would be minus 1 by 5, and again total conductance related to V2 is 1 by 5, because this 5 ohm resistance is connected here, and 1 by 20 because 20 ohm resistance is also connected to V2. So that's why 1 by 20 plus 1 by 5. Again on the right hand side, there would be current connected to particular source. In coming to particular source, so we can see that when we talk about the KCL at V1, total current coming into the V1 is equals to 2 ampere. So that's why we have a plus 2 ampere here. We have a plus 2 ampere sign here. Whereas total current connected to V2 is 2 plus 4, 6 ampere, but this current is going out, so there would be a negative sign appear here, that you can see. So we can actually write this matrix equation by simple observation, and then from here we can find the value of unknown voltage V1 and V2 by using matrix inversion like this, and by using the formula of matrix inversion of 2 cross 2 matrix, we can easily find the value of V1 and V2 to be minus 20, minus 40. So we can see that This matrix based method is much simpler than uh, analyzing the voltages by using linear equations, because it is very straightforward to write the matrix equation by simple observing this circuit. Thank you.